Hello, fellow survivors, and this is Naimad bringing all of you a review on the open beta for the Expanse Osiris Reborn. For those of you who don't know, the Expanse Osiris Reborn is an upcoming narrative-driven, third-person sci-fi action RPG developed by Owlcat Games, which are known for Pathfinder and Rogue Trader. The game clearly has taken inspiration from Mass Effect, creating a squad-based cover shooter where your teammates have abilities and will consistently help you out on the field, and also fused it with elements from Dungeons & Dragons with the skill checks and the more complicated branching choices that we all know and love. Today I will be reviewing what they showed off with the open beta. Obviously, all of this is not a final depiction of the final product, but from what I've seen here, I've got a pretty good gauge of where the game's to go. I'll be reviewing this with a 5-stage criteria, focusing on the story, atmosphere, gameplay, performance, and replay value. All these categories together will end up landing at a score anywhere between 0 or 10. So without wasting too much time, let's start dissecting this game. The game starts off by giving you a description of what happened in the prior mission. Assumingly, we're starting on the second mission in the game, and you basically learn you escaped Eros after an unknown outbreak happened. As we all know today, it's protomolecule if you watch The Expanse. If not, you'll have plenty of time to learn it in the game. And Owlcat Games has confirmed that you will not have to have watched the TV shows or have read the books in order to understand what's going on in the game. From here, the game lets you choose either a male Earther, hacker or officer, or a female Belter, hacker or officer, which are to give basically a sample of the different playstyles and origin mechanics to come in the final product. You also have a twin sister or brother in the game depending on the sex you choose. If you choose to be a man, it's going to be a twin brother. If you choose to be a female, it's going to be a twin sister. And with the beta, they happen to be the opposite class you chose. So if you chose an officer, your twin was a hacker. If you chose a hacker, your twin was an officer. From here, you get to the first cutscene. The game lets you on to the opening station level, and you get to explore a bit. Some pirate lady shows up, invades the station, things go down, and you end up having to fight your way off the station with your twin. And you may or may not meet some companions along the way. All that I'll save for you the experience either by playing the beta if you have pre-ordered the game, or turn around and pre-order the game so when the final game comes out, you'll get to experience it for the first time. But now I think it's time I actually start talking about what I liked and what I didn't like. Starting out, I'd like to say all the characters were interesting and felt well developed, and I could tell there was a quality backstory behind them that I would like to one day learn about, hopefully when the game actually comes out. It also did a good job tying in the TV show and the books, writing the lore and the plot threads into the universe of the game. It almost felt as if I was living in this world during the first season of the TV show or the first book, which is honestly a mind-blowing experience as a fan of The Expanse. But this does come with due negatives. The voice acting for the game was really bad if you choose a male character, sounding like they're hardly trying.
Thanks. Can't imagine what hoops you jumped through to get the coffee, let alone the spices.
It's a Middle Eastern accent, but it's so hard to understand, and they have absolutely no emotion in what they say. It comes across as rough and abrasive. Also, some of the other characters on the station, luckily not main characters, have that same no emotion in their voice effects.
And hi to you too. I wish I could pretend that I'm too busy and don't have time to talk, but I'm on a break.
I will say though, for the female Belter protagonist, their voice actor was significantly better and overall sounded like they were actually trying. Also, I will say some of the side dialogue and even bits of the main dialogue when asking questions is relatively boring and kind of makes you want to start skipping dialogue, which obviously I hope gets fixed before the final product. Moving away from the dialogue, I would like to take a moment to focus on the game's atmosphere, starting with the lighting. The lighting in this game is absolutely beautiful, and the game does a good job at showing it off because it puts us on Pinkwater Station. Pinkwater Station is a rotating station. A rotating station uses centripetal force that rotate the outer cuff of the station to simulate gravity. Now, because the station's constantly rotating, it's going to create this sun setting, sun rising effect where the sun will start to beam in through the windows, and eventually the station will be cast in its own shadow, creating a nighttime effect, which creates this beautiful shadow work where you constantly have all this moving lighting, which is a technological testament to how advanced games have come today, and just looks really pretty. The environments in this game are really detailed, making them look lifelike, where you can obviously tell where pipes run, electrical wires, where people walk a lot due to wear and dirt, and overall everything is placed in such a way these environments feel lived in. These environments also have destructive elements for during combat, where you shoot glass, it shatters, throw a grenade, wall paneling breaks, pipes get exposed, wires swing loose, bits of the station crumble, and creates this very dynamic feeling during combat, since what you're taking cover behind could be destroyed at any moment. The game also has really good environmental storytelling that is directly influenced by the choices you make. For instance, there's a choice in the game where when these pirates are invading the station, you can choose to either have everyone take arms and defend the station, or stand down because the pirates only want you, and you will try to escape without causing high chaos. Now, if you choose everyone to fight back, you'll eventually start going through areas where you can tell where a war zone happened, covers deployed, bullet holes and damaged, debris, there's like makeshift barriers made, people dead, looted armories and stuff like that, whereas if you choose a different choice, everything looks completely different because that story did not happen. It's just a really nice detail and makes these environments feel alive. Now, something I would like to mention, the game does have ray tracing and windows reflect your character's reflection, but some reason mirrors are static reflections, which it's like, if I can see myself in windows and I can see myself on the floor, why can't I look into a mirror and see my face? But that's a minor complaint, and something that they could easily patch in if they were to do a DLSS path tracing or anything like that. The gameplay in this game is also really strong. It has a good combat cover system, where it feels kind of like a Gears of War. You hit A or X on a controller to lock yourself into the cover, and it has that default, you hold your aim button, you shoot over the cover. You don't hold the aim button, you're in cover. And obviously it can be destroyed, which makes it so you have to dynamically move around. Your AI companions are also helpful in combat because they're constantly assisting you, will draw fire, and have abilities that they will dynamically use on their own. The game also offers environmental opportunities, such as if you see a gas pipe, you can shoot it and it will explode, killing the enemies around it. Some outdoor windows can be shot to depressurize an area, sometimes sucking people out the window. If you have your ship nearby, you can have your ship gun down enemies from the outside of the station, killing everybody in that room and shredding through heavy armor. The game also has little fun mini games for hacking, and sometimes you'll scan something and you have to go follow a wire to find something to hack, to then head back to get into a secret room. The game also has a skill tree, and instead of just one, it has two, for both you and your companions. It has a combat skill tree, which points are earned by doing combat, and then there's a exploration skill tree where you earn points by exploring and talking to people. Each skill tree has skills according to its tree. Combat's going to obviously help you get stuff like larger mag capacity, more damage resistance, and then your explorations tree has skills such as help your perception so you can find stuff easier, and etc. The game also has equipment management with several equipments, weapons, armors, and armor mods, which all have the ability to be upgraded at a crafting table with resources you find. The game also has an in-depth crafting system where if you find blueprints you can craft armors, you can craft mods, you can craft weapons, and like I said earlier, upgrade these weapons. On the negative side of all this great gameplay, actually commanding your squad mate is confusing since you open a menu where you slow down time and it almost becomes like a turn-based, where you get to tell your squad mate, I want you to do this action, and switch between them and tell them to do different actions, but it completely interrupts the flow of combat and just doesn't feel natural at all. Also, the enemy AI is really easy to confuse. They're not that accurate, and I never found myself dying to them. If anything, on the hardest difficulty, I was wrecking them. So hopefully they add either a fourth difficulty or just make the AI a little bit more challenging on the hardest difficulty. Moving away from the gameplay, it's time to focus a little bit on the game's actual performance. And considering this is a beta, bugs are expected to be there. Now, I will say, the game initially performed fine with a stable frame graph mostly the entire way through, and low amounts of stuttering, but when the game did stutter, it really stuttered. So you'd go like a whole mission, but then when it hit that loading screen, it would stutter for like 2 to 3 seconds before going back to a constant 60 or 90 frames per second. Also, there was an issue where characters would just unload and reload during cutscenes. I don't know if I captured this on stream, but it's really jarring to just watch the characters all of a sudden disappear, or all of a sudden just appear out of thin air in the cutscene, and it's like, what's going on here? And then there was the occasional texture assets not loading incorrectly. But outside of that, which is more complaints than good things, the game actually did perform fine, give or take. Replay value looks to be where this game's strong suit is going to be. Now, just in this beta, there's several different outcomes you can get with the station. I mean, yeah, the station can be destroyed, or it can be saved. You can have everyone die, or everyone can live. There's a lot of different dialogue outcomes, and it really just is a testament to how advanced the choices in this game will be, considering this only is the second mission in the game. There's also some collectibles such as lore notes you can find, and the game offers different playstyles with the different classes, different weapon types, and apparently the final game's going to offer stealth and all that, but there was no stealth mechanics yet in the beta, as far as I could tell. With all that said, the Expanse Osiris Reborn's beta at least was a positive experience. It was fun to play. Yes, it had its flaws, but I'm honestly looking forward to the final product, and I can't wait to play the game. So as of right now, I feel like the game sits at a 7 out of 10 from what I've played. Now, the game obviously at this point has the ability to reach a 10 out of 10 as long as they fix these issues before the final release and make sure that the game is running smoothly, the dialogue's engaging, and the voice acting has to be saved, at least for the male characters, or everyone's only going to play female. But with all that said, that's my official thoughts on this game. Let me know what you think about it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, and we'll go from there. And like always, if you liked the video, remember to leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. Comment below, like I said. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And until next time, I'll see you all later. Stay safe out there, y'all.